Dear students, today we are going to revise the topics which you have studied in the subject of surveying. In this semester, you have to study the advanced surveying, but before going into the details of the advanced surveying, it is utmost essential to know the basics of surveying. So this is a you may consider this lecture as a revision of the surveying which you have studied in the second year. So what is surveying? In surveying, you are taking the measurements either in the horizontal plane or the vertical plane. But what is the correct definition of the surveying? The correct definition of the surveying is an art of determining the relative positions of the points on or below the surface of the earth by measuring the distances, by measuring the angles. So, in the true sense, the definition of the surveying is the art and science of determining the relative positions of various points or stations on the surface of the earth by measuring the horizontal and vertical distances, angles, and taking the details of these points, and by preparing a map or plan to any suitable scale. So, used by taking the measurements, we are preparing either plan or map. Some kind of the drawing we are preparing is called as either plan or map. Then in connection with the surveying, often we are using the word leveling. No doubt leveling is a part of the surveying operation. So what is this leveling? Leveling is a branch of surveying which deals with the measurements of relative heights of different points on, above, or below the surface of the earth. Thus, in leveling, the measurements are taken in the vertical plane. So, whenever we are visiting any place, okay, at that place the elevations are mentioned. One of the best example is if you visit any railway station, below the name of the station, the elevation is mentioned. That is some figure, and after that you will find the word MSL, mean sea level. Okay, to find out this mean sea level or the reduced levels, these leveling operations are carried out, and you are taking the measurements in the vertical plane. So to carry out the surveying operations, to carry out the leveling operations, we use the different kinds of the equipments. The very simple equipments for the measuring the distances are the measuring tapes. It may be of steel tape, cloth tape, or the metallic tape, or the invar tape. To carry out the leveling operations, we are using the simple leveling instruments such as dumpy level, atto level, digital level, or the laser level. For the measurement of the angles, we are using the simple instruments such as the box system, prismatic compass, or the theodolite, or the digital theodolite. So this is the photograph of the atto level. So what is the object of the survey? Okay, ultimate object of the surveying is to prepare the plan or map. Okay, so object of the surveying is to prepare the plan or map. You know that with the scale of the plotting is large, then that figure is called as plan. When the scale of the plotting is small, that figure is called as map. So what do you mean by that scale of the plotting? Okay, for example, if you compare the two scale, one scale is 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer, and another scale is 1 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. So 1 centimeter is equal to 1 meter is comparatively larger scale compared to the 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer. So if the scale of the plotting is smaller one, that figure is called as map. If the scale of the plotting is larger one, that figure is called as plan. So what does it represents? So this plan or map is drawn to show the relative positions of the objects on the surface of the earth. The map or plan is drawn to some suitable scale. It also shows the boundaries of the districts, states, and the countries too. It also includes the details of different engineering features such as the buildings, road, railways, dams, canals, etc. So this is the one of the plan of the hostel block. This is the master plan of some campus. This is the layout of some campus. This is the development plan of Gurgaon city near Delhi. So what are the different uses of survey? The surveying may be used for the different purposes. To prepare a topographical map. What is topographical map? Topographical map is a map which shows the natural features of the country as well as the artificial features of the country. The natural features includes hills, valleys, rivers, mountains, forests. Artificial features means villages, towns, some monumental buildings. It is also used to prepare a cadastral map. Cadastral map means the map which shows the boundaries of field, plots, houses and other properties. So this surveying is used to prepare an engineering map which shows the position of engineering works such as buildings, roads, railways, dams and canals. Before the construction of any engineering facility, you need to prepare its drawing, that is the map. So this photograph shows the topographical map. Okay, on the left side you can see the different contour lines. From that you can easily find out the streams. Is there any creek, is there any valley, mountain, or that can be easily identified. This is the cadastral map showing the boundaries of the plots or the properties. This is the engineering map showing the layout of the streets. Okay, so one of the best use of the surveying is to prepare a contour map to know the topography of the area, to find out the best possible site for the roads, railways, bridges, reservoirs, canals, etc. Before the commencement of any work, you need the contour drawing, so you will get the idea about the topography of that area, topography of the land, topography of the ground, and you can find out the best possible position of the dam. You can find out the best possible alignment for the railway line, best possible alignment for the canal, and the best possible alignment for the bridges. Surveying is also used to prepare military maps, geological map or the archaeological map. It is also used for setting out works and transferring details from the map onto the ground. Once you have the map, you can or the plan, you can transfer the details onto the ground. So this photograph shows the contour map. You can easily notice on the left hand side and right hand side the two hillocks are there. As the contour elevations are increasing towards the center, at the center the elevation is 500 meter and at the outskirt, then near the boundary it is 100 meter. So elevations are increasing towards the center, it indicates the hillock. You can see the two hillocks, in between that you will find one saddle or the pass. So for the marching of the troops, you can prepare the military maps. Different legends or the symbols can be shown here. So to show the geological features, that is the anticline, syncline, dikes, deep, fault, you can make use of this map. To prepare the archaeological maps, the surveying is necessary. For setting out of the buildings also, for transferring the center line, to marking the center line on the ground, surveying is required. So whatever the surveying is there, this surveying is divided into two parts. Okay, what you call as a primary division of the surveying. Surveying is divided into two groups, plain surveying and the geodetic surveying. So what is this plain surveying and the geodetic surveying? As we know that the shape of the earth is spheroidal. Thus the surface is obviously curved one. Surveying is primarily divided into two types, considering the curvature of the earth's surface. If we ignore the curvature of the earth's surface, that type of the surveying is called as plain surveying. If you consider the curvature of the earth's surface, that type of the surveying is called as geodetic surveying. So let us discuss in brief about the plain surveying. The plain surveying is that type of the surveying in which earth's surface is considered as a plane and the curvature of the earth is ignored. In such surveying, A line joining any two stations is considered to be a straight line. For example, if we take the any 2 points on the ground, if we measure the distance and if you plot that point, that distance on the ground, and if you ignore the curvature, you will get the simply straight line. Okay, but if you consider the curvature of the earth's surface, when you draw the line between the 2 points, then that line will be a curved line. So the triangle, if you take the 3 points, if you join the 3 points, then that triangle is called as a plane triangle. That means the triangle formed by any 3 points is considered as a plane triangle, and the angles of the triangle are considered as a plane triangle. You might have studied in the geometry the sum of the three angles of the triangle is equals to exactly 180 degree, 0 minutes and 0 second. Okay. So when this plane surveying is considered, it is said that if this area to be surveyed is up to 250 square kilometer or less than 250 square kilometer, that type of the surveying is called as a plane surveying. Okay. So these surveys are carried out by the local or the state agencies like the R&B department, public work department, irrigation department, or the railway department. So the concerned state agencies are carrying out this type of the survey. So this is the one of the map prepared using the plane survey. Then what is geodetic survey? So in simple words, if you consider the curvature of the earth, then that type of the surveying is called as geodetic surveying. The geodetic surveying is that type of the surveying in which the curvature of the earth is taken into account. It is generally extended over larger areas, that means the areas greater than 250 square kilometer. The line joining any two stations is considered as a curved line. The triangle formed by any 3 points is considered to be a spherical triangle, and the angles of the triangle are considered to be spherical angles. And one of the property of the spherical triangle is the sum of the three angles of the spherical triangle is always greater than 180 degree, and the amount by which the sum exceeds the 180 degree, that is called as spherical axis, and that spherical axis will be depend on the size of the triangle or the area of the triangle. So geodetic surveying is conducted by the Survey of India department. As you know that the headquarters is at Dehradun and is carried out for the larger area exceeding 250 square kilometer. So you can see here, easily notice the three arcs of the circle. If we join this, then that triangle is called as the spherical triangle, and the distance measured is not the plane distance but is the geodetic distance. This is also a photograph showing the how the measurements are represented in the geodetic survey. So what is the difference between the plane surveying and the geodetic surveying? In plane surveying, the earth's surface is considered as a plane surface. In geodetic surveying, the earth's surface is considered as a curved surface. In plane surveying, curvature of the earth is ignored. In geodetic surveying, curvature of the earth is taken into consideration. In plane surveying, line joining any two stations is considered to be straight line, whereas in geodetic surveying, the line joining any two stations is considered as spherical or the curved line. The triangles formed by any 3 points is considered as a plane triangle. In plane surveying, sum is exactly 180 degree, whereas the triangle formed by any 3 points is considered as a spherical triangle. Sum will be greater than 180 degree. The angles of the triangle are considered as a plane angle, whereas in geodetic surveying, the angles of the triangle are considered as spherical triangle. In plane surveying is carried out when the area is smaller than 250 square kilometer, and when the area exceeds the 250 square kilometer, then we have to consider the curvature, and that type of the surveying is nothing but the geodetic survey. Whatever the part we have discussed, all these surveying operations are based on two important principles. That two important principles are called as the fundamental principles of the survey. The two basic or the fundamental principles of the surveying are: first important principle is always work from whole to the part, And the second principle, to locate a new station by at least two measurements from fixed reference points. Measurements may be linear measurement or angular measurement. Remember, if you violate any of the principle, your map will not be correct one. So the good surveyor always bears in mind two principles of the surveying, or the basic principles of the surveying, while conducting any surveying operations. I am reiterating again, the first important principle is to work from whole to the part, and the second principle is to locate a new station by at least two independent measurements with reference to two known points or the two fixed points on the ground. So discuss in brief about what is the meaning of to work from whole to the part. According to this principle, the whole area is first enclosed by main station and the main survey lines. The area is then divided into a number of divisions by forming a well-conditioned triangle. Okay. See, here the periphery, on the periphery of this area, the control points are selected. That control points are called as the main survey station. Line joining the stations A, B, C, D, that main survey stations are called as the main survey lines. So first of all, we have to establish the control points, then go on dividing the area into smaller parts. The main survey lines are measured very accurately with precise survey instruments. The remaining sides of the triangle are measured. The purpose of this method of working is to prevent the accumulation of errors. During measurement, if there is any error, it will not affect the whole work. But if you violate this principle, errors will get magnified. That means to localize the error at a particular point, this principle is useful. If you violate this, then errors will go on increasing. And second principle, to locate a new station by at least two measurements from fixed reference points. According to the second principle, the points are located by linear or angular measurements or by both. If two control points are established first, then a new station can be located by linear measurement. Let us say A and B are the control points and the new point C is to be located or established. On the extreme left side, you can see A and B are the two fixed points, and point C is located by having the two linear measurements. Okay, so measurements taken from station B is D1 and measurements taken from station A is D2. So by knowing the position of A and B and by knowing the distances D1, D2, you can easily mark the point C. In the second case, again same, A and B are the fixed point. From point C, you can drop a perpendicular. That perpendicular will meet to the line AB. So by measuring the distance AB and by measuring the distance up to the foot of the perpendicular, that is D2, you can mark the point C. Then A and B are the fixed points. By keeping the angle measuring instrument at station B, you can measure the angle with respect to point C, say theta 1. So AB is known, theta 1 is known, so direction of C is known. And if you measure the distance D1, so with the help of the theta 1 and D1, you can easily plot the position of the point C. In the first two cases, only linear measurements are taken. In the second cases, one linear measurement, that is D1, and one angular measurements, that is theta 1. You can eliminate the linear measurements. You can have both the measurements as angular measurements. So measuring the angle theta 1 and theta 2 with respect to point C, you can plot the C. Okay, or you can have one linear measurement and one angular measurement. This is the second principle of the surveying. Whatever the operations you are performing in surveying, you are making use of these two basic principles of the surveying, what you call as the fundamental principles of the surveying. So on the basis of the method of the surveying, surveying can be classified as the triangulation or traversing. So there are two types of the triangulation. One is called a simple chain triangulation and second is the triangulation. When the triangulation word is used without any prefix, simply triangulation, it means that only one linear measurement is taken and all the three angles of the triangles are measured. In both the cases, area to be divided necessarily in the form of the well proportionate triangle or the well conditioned triangle. As you know that the property of the well conditioned triangle is a triangle whose angles are greater than, less than 30 degree and not greater than 120 degree. Okay, will be always between 30 to greater than 30 degree and less than 120 degree. If any triangle contains the angle less than 30 degree and greater than 120 degree, that triangle is called as ill-conditioned triangle or the ill-shaped triangle. So area is divided in the form of the well-conditioned triangle. In chain triangulation, only linear measurements are taken, and in triangulation, one single line, that is baseline, is measured, and on this baseline, the remaining skeleton of the triangle is based and all the angles are measured. And in traversing means to pass across. So series of survey lines are connected to each other in which the direction is measured with the help of the angle measuring instrument and the length is measured with the help of the distance measuring instruments. So a traversing is a circuit of survey lines. It may be open or closed. If the starting point of the survey and the end point of the survey is same, then it is called as closed traverse. And if the starting point of the survey and the end point of the survey is different, then that type of the survey is called as the open traverse. To locate the boundaries of the plot, to locate the boundaries of the field, closed traverse survey is carried out. And for marking the alignment of the roadways, railways or the canal, the open traverse survey is carried out. So depending on the nature of the land, nature of the work, you have to decide whether the closed traverse survey is to be carried out or the open traverse survey is to be carried out. This is in brief about the basics of the surveying. After knowing this, you can go into the details of the advanced surveying. Thank you.